The following is a presentation of the THWF Network.
A recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
This is the THWF podcast. This is your boy Ced here with True Hardcore Wrestling Fans. This is the very first podcast. I am so excited for this. We've been trying to do this for a couple of years now, and now it's come to fruition. And I just want to thank everybody who is out there listening to us for the very first time at our very first podcast. I have a distinguished team here with us from our group. First, I would like to start off with Mr. Austin Bryant, the promoter of THWF Georgia. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's going on, everybody?
All right. I have the THWF's resident Globetrotter and commissioner of THWF Midwest, Mr. Terry Davis. Trey, good evening, sir.
How you doing, sir? Listen.
All right. And last but not least, one of our distinguished admins, the HCIC, Mr. Reese Moe, Mr. Derek Davis. Sir, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Okay, and I thank all you all, the three of y'all, for coming on short notice onto the THWF podcast. We want to jump right into it. We're looking at doing about a 45-minute show. So if everything seems kind of out of whack, keep in mind this is the first show, and last time I checked, none of us are professional podcasters out there. So, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna hit the highlight. The high news in the world of wrestling. Biggest news is coming out of TNA, if you believe it or not. With Anthem coming in, taking over TNA. They decided not to renew contracts of several superstars. One of which is the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, and they decided not to keep them on board. Now, my thing is, being that in the midst of all of their issues within TNA, the Hardys, and in particular the broken Matt Hardy storyline, seemed to have kept TNA afloat. But when it comes to contract negotiations, it's like, y'all gonna do them like this. I'm gonna start with Terry on this one. Terry, I mean, what gives on this? You know.
Man, when you say kept them afloat, I was just watching Impact earlier today. The three highest ranking Impact shows in the past 12 months have been the Broken Hardy segments, Total Nonstop Deletion, the War and everything. And Matt has creative control when he was in TNA with it. If that was working for you, why would you even try to play with these guys right now and not give them what you should give them? Because without the Broken Hardys, and then you add the other 4 or 5 people they lost, watching this new episode of TNA, I don't... Did anybody see how they wrote the Hardys off of TV, though?
I think I missed how they wrote them off.
Well, basically, here's what happened. They teleported on their expedition of gold. About to teleport back to TNA, but something they showed like a glitch, and then Decay popped up in the Impact Zone with the TNA Tag Team titles.
Wow.
And that's it. No more Broken Hardys on TV. On TNA.
Wow.
TNA at this point, well, first off, Impact Wrestling, but everybody still associates them with TNA, and the title still say TNA. I tried. They just need to do something different right now, because the way they doing the Hardys right now, who's obviously from all the records and indication of everything, they's the one who kept you afloat. When you said you think they helped, no, they kept you afloat.
Oh yeah.
And you just don't want to pay them and go a new direction, and I don't understand.
Definitely chime in on this, guys. I mean, it's crazy. It's just mind blowing to me. Like you're supposed to reward those who done run by you, done right by the company, and that's and Matt's wife just went totally off on all kinds of leadership. I mean,
she went in.
let's speak on that. Hey, let's speak on that a little bit. I mean, she went off on JJ. We all know who JJ is, but it's like, wow, she just unloaded.
Yeah, she went in. I mean, she had every right to go in like that. I mean, you're just not gonna. I mean, this is Jeff and Matt Hardy we're talking about here. I mean, you really just gonna. I mean, just we don't need y'all, so we're not gonna resign. Like, we don't need y'all. No. I think it's totally disrespectful. She had every right to go off like that. I mean, and when you look back on it, I think about, especially with Jeff, I compare Jeff to Impact like I do Sting to WCW. Once Jeff got there, he was kind of like the one guy that kept carrying him, through Immortal, through, through Aces and Eights, through all of that. Jeff Hardy was there. And, Matt came in and finally, with Broken Matt, found his thing. And it's just like, I was just waiting for the moment that, they could, show up north, as they call it, and cause some trouble. But, man, it's just like, y'all really going to do this to these two guys? It makes no sense. And, I mean, I don't care what promotion they go in. I don't care what, company they work for. Jeff and Matt Hardy just have a following, period. Like one of the biggest cult followings in wrestling ever. And for Impact to feel that they don't need them, like they're not going to resign them, to pretty much say, we've done enough with y'all.
Exactly. If it's true that Impact changed the contracts, talking about they want 10% of what their wrestlers do outside of the company.
Oh yeah,
right.
So,
right.
I understand they've been going broke, but you can't change people's contracts over like that and not inform them.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like I stopped. Well, I'll admit I stopped watching Impact for a while, but it was Jeff and Matt who brought me back to it.
The broken parties brought everybody back.
Exactly. I mean, that's a gold mine, and they just started that. You cannot. That has so much more room to go. And Impact they just dropped the ball. They dropped the ball because there's no one else in Impact who can keep people watching like that. Nobody else. I don't care who they get. I mean, no one else is gonna keep them afloat like they can.
Definitely. So, moving on to a lighter topic. Last night, as everybody knows, the fallen angel Christopher Daniels finally became Ring of Honor World Champion. Yes. I have got to applaud that one. I was at a local independent show, and I came up on the group's Twitter, the group's Facebook feed, and I saw that. I literally screamed out in the middle of a match. It was unbelievable, and a bunch of the THWF Southwest crew did the exact same thing. It was mind blowing. It's like finally, and Tommy, one of our guys here in the Southwest, he pointed out that he is the last of the three that was in that first main event. He's the last one to become RH World Champion.
Oh wow!
Exactly. So that blows my mind. Gentlemen, let's get your thoughts on this.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Don't do it.
He finally became Ring of Honor World Champion.
Okay.
After all this time. How old is Christopher Daniels?
Oh, shoot.
How old is he?
45.
Okay, thank you.
That's your world champion. Seems like a guy in the WWE that's about 50 that's champion that people seem to try to compare the two. Can y'all tell me why you can't compare the two? I know why you can't, but what's y'all opinion on when people try to say, well, y'all don't want Goldberg as champion, but y'all out here cheering for Christopher Daniels because he just became champion?
Okay, I'll start this one off because it's funny Terry brought this up because this has been a discussion in the group today, and someone came under fire for posting that. They say Goldberg put butts in seats, but in returns to the level of talent and his ability and the fact that he's been going day in and day out for over the last 23 years constantly and elevating folks that he worked with, there is no comparison in regards to what Ring of Honor did last night to what WWE did this past Sunday.
But when Goldberg was at the top of his line, you can put his time at being the top next to anybody because he was hot.
Yeah. Oh, he was.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Time out.
Okay.
No.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
We're not going to do this. We are not going to talk about his time. He was hot. We all know the politics in WCW that got him to the top. Please do not insult the listener's intelligence in saying that he was hot. He was pushed there because of his look, and he knew that they was going to take a kin to him. It wasn't no real wrestling skill or nothing like that. Christopher Daniels been wrestling all over the world for these past 20-something years, and he gets the job done. You can't compare him and Goldberg and just say, Goldberg at the top, he was hot. Goldberg come in the ring, do a couple of moves, jackhammers, big, match was over. I mean, we're not going to do that tonight.
And with everything you just said, right? He was still hot. He was at the top.
He was only hot because you have the powers that be that put that person out there and say, hey.
Are we gonna talk politics with the wrestler? He was hot.
Hot.
Okay.
Hot what? He was hot because they made him hot. They gave him visibility. You put somebody out there in your TV. Look, I ain't even gonna compare him to Roman Reigns, but you put somebody out there and you gonna say, okay, this is our man. We're gonna throw the whole building behind him. Yeah, of course, but Christopher Daniels been doing it naturally. It's no forced thing out there.
You right.
Yeah.
When you watch The Fallen Angel, you know that this is a person who's at the top of his game wrestling. That's why when I see people on the internet talking about you put somebody in Ring of Honor who's 45 as the champion and y'all happy about that, but you mad about Goldberg. Christopher Daniels, from every match I've seen him do in Ring of Honor to TNA to even his matches in New Japan with Kaz as a tag team, he's got to be right now, to me, if not top 10, at least top 20 best wrestlers in the world right now.
And the thing about it is, in regards to Christopher Daniels, and you take a look at him, and you take a look at Goldberg, I guarantee you that whether you're in WWE, you're in Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan, no one is more respected in the wrestling business than Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
And this world title win is long overdue. Long overdue. Okay. All right. Moving forward, guys. As we all know, that we are in WrestleMania season, and on television, all the matches are starting to come into fruition. Everybody, what match are you particularly looking forward to at WrestleMania this year?
The closing credits.
Okay, I don't think closing credits is a match, but please, all right. All right, but please elaborate why you feel that way.
Because this build to WrestleMania has been, in my opinion, has been trash. It's taken my enthusiasm. Normally, I'm happy when it's WrestleMania time rolls around, but it's stolen my enthusiasm. I think I'm more excited about TakeOver Orlando than I am WrestleMania. Okay. And they talk about WrestleMania is going to be a 7-hour show. That's the word going around. So, I mean, it's wrestling. I'll watch it, but I'm not too particularly happy with the cards and stuff right now. I mean, it's a lot that they can do, but they always want to go for the casual fan. That's who they look to impress. That's who's going to spend the big money to come to the events. Right. So they want to do something to have the casual fans catch their eye and everything, which is why you see Goldberg with the title now.
Yeah.
So that's just the reason. That's why I'm saying, like, closing credits, and you see WrestleMania going off, and it's like, okay, I'm happy with that.
Damn. Dang, man. Well, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with that to a certain point, because I mean, and like you said, the casual fans, not only will they spend their money, but they'll spend it the quickest.
Right.
You're a business, you want that quick profit.
And
so I'm inclined to agree. Now, I will say, if I had to pick a match, just because of the talent, I'd pick Jericho and Owens.
I'm with you on that.
So I mean, there's really no explanation needed for those two. So, but aside from that, other than maybe the opening pyro show, if they have one, that might be. Other than that, because honestly, ever since Atlanta 27 in Atlanta, it's like every WrestleMania has just kind of been, not so much outside of Punk and Undertaker and Jersey. That's just a personal favorite of mine, and then Miami because I was there. But outside of that, it's like every WrestleMania just kind of got less and less interesting.
Even 30 was forever sticking in my mind.
30 was, you know what?
30 will forever stick in my mind as that WrestleMania where.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right.
Good point.
I mean, 30 just sits there, and whenever I just look at that, and I'm like, the things that happened on that show.
Yeah, 30 was big. 30 was real
30 big. Was big for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. You know what? 30. I agree. And 31 could have been big, but they had it in daylight.
Listen, 30 was so big that the CEO of our esteemed group left the discussion.
Yes, he did. He was so pissed.
He left when you make him leave the discussion. You just messed up.
Right.
You did change the course of history. We try to stick around as much as we can, but he just said, "I'm out," and it was
done. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was epic. I remember that. I was in Germany at the time, and I was watching the stream. Now that happened, and then I saw Byron's comments, and he walked out like, "Oh wow."
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Austin, did you chime in on this?
Yeah. That was. I said Jericho and Owens if I had to pick. Other than that, the Pyro.
Okay. Trey.
I'll be real with you. A match that I'm really looking forward to got to be Orton and Bray. I could say the final credit, but Orton and Bray, just how they've been playing the story out since October.
Yeah.
Aside from the way that Orton came out and said that he wanted the match and everything, other than that, the storylines had me intrigued and interested. I'm invested in it. I feel like that this may be Bray's time, but because of what Randy's been doing, they may give him the title. But I feel like if Bray needs this win at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Because he lost to Cena. He lost to The Undertaker. Last year, he just had his little spat in the ring with The Rock, and then Eric
Rowan
got beat in 3 seconds. So Bray Wyatt really needs a good performance at WrestleMania. And I'm interested to see if the WWE gives it to him, or if we get an RKO out of nowhere and Randy just...
Right.
So that's what I'm really looking to see, because the era of Wyatt, if he make that statement and then you lose in April
Exactly.
2nd, then I mean everything they just did for you kind of goes up in flame, unless you guys have a rivalry back and forth.
Right.
You know? So
and they're inclined to do that. You know, there's those times where they hype us up, give us the moment, and then weeks or a month later, it's like, you know.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I agree with you, because Brady.
See Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
I mean, he had his moment, and then what they did next night.
Yeah.
That was a random ass moment for Zack Ryder, though.
Right.
Exactly. It's crazy.
I don't think they had a plan for Zack after he won that belt.
Yeah.
They said, "Yeah, we got a plan for you. You're gonna lose it on Raw the next night."
Well, that was. Yeah.
Because look who came back. Look who came back, and was that when she came back after WrestleMania? Maurice came back. I believe so. Something like that.
Yeah, it was.
She came back, and that was. And now look at the build up they have for them at WrestleMania. Well, I don't know. They talk about Miz might get pulled from WrestleMania because of what he's going to talk his smack, which is.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, come on, man.
No.
That's they talking about it because he went off script, and I'm like, come on, you need that energy.
Right.
Exactly.
You need somebody who's going to build, who's going to bring eyes to your product, and y'all just trying to keep it family oriented. I'm like, come on now. This is why people are turning away from your product, because you're trying to
script it too much.
Exactly.
Right. You know, when the first one when he came out and Daniel Bryan, a brand new one, I was like,
man,
this is the Miz that I've been
waiting.
watching.
Oh my gosh, yes.
For. And I just went back and was watching old promos of his, and he has the skill to do so, but it's just they just don't let him run with the ball. They just say, okay, we're going to give you this little push, and then we're going to throw you back. Whatever.
I'm sorry to say it, but it's because his name is not John Cena. John Cena is the only one in that company really who if he goes off script like that, he ain't got nothing to worry about. But because so a lot of that stuff that he's saying is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's another podcast right there that we can definitely dive into that. But I'm emotionally invested into the Triple H Seth Rollins story. Okay. I am. Yeah, I'm invested into it, especially with Seth with the knee. And I'm curious how they gonna tell that portion about his rehab going up into Mania. How they gonna keep that story alive? Because I was into that story. They hooked me. Between Bray and Randy, that one, and Seth and Triple H, I'm into it. It's WrestleMania, so I got to find something to gravitate to, you know.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of Triple H.
Yeah, but I think
every freaking year he's got to take one of the big stars. I mean, last year was Roman, this year is Seth. I mean, come on, Triple H, man. And then you're gonna do your one match. I mean, he's gonna do a couple live shows so he can get a ring ready.
He's been doing that
like last night.
Come on, man. Come on.
Well, but the thing about it is he's coming back in. He's putting folks over.
But he's not the next day.
But my thing is you need to have your talent within the company do that. It can't be you as you know in the position that you in putting somebody over. You need to put faith in your talent and say, okay, we can have these WrestleMania moments. We wasn't 10 years ago. We didn't have to worry about that. 20 years ago, this wasn't happening at WrestleMania. Okay. So why are we getting this now? Why do we have? Why does it feel that you need Triple H to put somebody over? Why do you need The Rock to come in and put somebody over? You need to build your stars. You need to invest in your stars and say, hey,
okay. All right. With that said, if you're saying that WWE needs to invest in what they have, and I agree with you, they're doing an outstanding job with NXT bringing folks up. But which superstar do y'all believe that is in the main roster of WWE right now? Could they elevate to that level in which they can highlight a WrestleMania and have the star power to do it?
Well, the person that you do have is currently the GM on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, when WrestleMania 30, he had everybody out there. When them credits was going up, that was the last image that you saw. Mm-hmm. You can't take that away.
Right.
You have Seth, and when Seth came and did what he did 2 years ago and captured the title.
Oh dear God!
Now I like that. Now you got somebody that the thing about him, he's getting injured a lot, so you can't play that. You got Finn Balor. Finn Balor's coming back.
Exactly.
I mean, you have a couple people that you have on the roster. You know, Samoa Joe's there. Samoa Joe has a huge following. You have to build. You have to invest in your stars. You can't just treat them just like second rate just because you have, you know, Cena, and Cena wants to be. Cena's that God tier talent that gets to his ring and everything.
And then you got guys there who, had they booked them better, they'd be in a perfect position to put over other guys like Sheamus. I mean, really think about it. When Sheamus first started out, the first year he had beaten Cena in that match, going against Triple H at WrestleMania, Sheamus could have been way more far ahead than what he is and how they've booked him. Not saying that it's been all bad, because him and Cesaro, I honestly like that, especially when they teamed up. But has Sheamus been given more, you know, a chance to you know, kind of get groomed to be in that main event position? He might have been in the position where somebody younger could have came and fought him, and it might have meant something.
Like I think you had a talent. Like you mentioned Cesaro. So I think Cesaro could have the company on a different plane if they would let him. Vince talking about something, grab the brass ring. He probably didn't grab the brass ring and ran with it if you let him do his due diligence.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's known all over the world. Let him do what he do best. Stop trying to just hold people back just because you think you know what the fans want. You see how the fans react to him and react to these wrestlers.
Right.
You know, just let it go by that. Don't just keep going, well, you know, we feel as though this is the person who's going to run it. And then you bringing in part-timers again, you know, for another WrestleMania to wrestle for your title. Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, that's your money. That's your money. That's your money bag right there. That's your top. That's your marquee matchup. I understand you want the casual fan, but come on now, both of these guys are like old. And Goldberg is like struggling to keep people up in the jackhammer.
Yeah, Goldberg ancient. Yeah, he's
Goldberg.
Yeah,
cool. Exactly. And
that's what this disappoints me about this year's WrestleMania. It's just like I don't know if it was Terry or Austin that said it, but it was just going back. You know, it's just starting to go down, and it's like this year I'm not really feeling it. So you mentioned those couple matches, and I'm like, yeah, those are cool, but as overall for WrestleMania, I was like excited for the whole show, and I was just ready just to watch. But now I'm just like, okay,
right.
Exactly. I mean, like we do have a couple of other matches, like Bailey, Sasha, and Charlotte. They're gonna have theirs.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna have a really good match, but
they're gonna have a good match. So it's gonna be interesting. What's SmackDown gonna do with the women's titles? What would y'all think? What y'all think they're gonna do with the tag team titles on both brands?
Nothing. Well, they ain't gonna do nothing with the SmackDown.
Or either put them in the pre-show.
They said SmackDown. They said SmackDown tag titles might not be on the card, which is another cluster.
Man, come on.
What we don't need. This is like, this is what you're doing. You leaving off. You have a 7. If it's gonna be a long WrestleMania on the books,
You should have enough room.
You need to plug your talent in there and get everybody on that card, because if you leaving off that tag team championship on SmackDown, you just basically taking away what you have built up.
Right.
Another thing, the Usos, I really rather would have seen the Usos had a nice heel run with those titles, because this new attitude they had is like reminds me of when they first came. And they first came in with Tamina, and they was just like talking trash, and I was like, this is a good group, right? A good little cool group right here. Now they came back with that old Camacho and Hunico, swag and everything. I'm like, this is what we need, but they don't want to give it to us. They just like, okay, we might leave you off the card. And it's like, really?
It's too much talent in the tag team division, especially on SmackDown, to be left off the card like that.
Exactly.
And here's another thing that annoys me about WWE. You have AJ Styles, who had the best first run in WWE, and you want to give him a match with Shane McMahon. You have Sensei Nakamura down in NXT. You saw what they did at Wrestle Kingdom last year.
Right.
Actually, WWE, Vince McMahon don't look at Wrestle Kingdom, so he probably.
I'm totally sure that somebody that you
told him
in your organization who watches.
Oh, Hunter watches it. I'm sure Paul Levesque watches it. I'm sure
definitely.
He does.
Man, this is crazy. This is so annoying. You get a classic matchup right there, but nope. We want to give you the Shane. I'm like, why?
Right.
I'm like, why you gonna do? Why you gonna do?
Does AJ beat Shane, or does Shane beat AJ?
No. Yeah, but it is, and I got love for Shane. Shane gets much respect, Shane may do his thing, but when you have someone like AJ Styles, and you are not showcasing him properly, man, you're missing out. And we just had this discussion about people who that main event level caliber, and you're booking him in mid card territory.
Right.
That's one name right there. That's one name that could be your main event right there, and it's believable. But
you see why? And you see why? Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead and finish, because I was going to say something else, but go ahead and finish.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, now you see why Kenny Omega don't want to come over here.
Right.
You see why Kenny Omega does not want to come over here and wrestle with his company.
Hey, funny thing. I saw that. I know everybody saw that tweet he put out earlier.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, like my main events are 47 minutes, 13 seconds long. They frown upon that, something like that. I'm like, dang.
Now I'm just saying. Now hold up. Now think about this. Now if you could give me now the match that he had at Wrestle Kingdom, and I watched that match from beginning to end. I was just like into it the entire time. The length didn't matter, and it was just like the whole match. I'm just like, yo, this is like some incredible wrestling right here. WWE won't get us to it. It's like, okay, we're gonna give you a squash match, and that'll be that. They toy with our intelligence, and they just like think that we don't care. And then we watch other organizations, and they give us quality matchups, and then they'll see us talking about it, and they be like, I just wonder what they think. I'm like, come on now. It's like, we need something.
But see, the thing is, and then the other thing is, if you take 2016, and if someone would have asked me, what matches in WWE could you watch more than once from start to finish, I'm going to say everyone with AJ Styles in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Everyone, even the James Ellsworth.
Well.
there are exceptions to the rule.
There are exceptions, but
there are exceptions to that rule.
AJ Styles in the match.
But look what AJ Styles did for Jay. Look what he did with that, and how he put him over.
Right.
The turtle without a shell has a damn contract. I mean, damn, really.
Got a storyline with Carmella.
Right, with her wearing pants with his face all over it.
I'm just saying.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No comment.
Shoot.
I'm just saying. I think I'm just saying that the credit to AJ Styles, because I mean, without
Let's
him,
credit Braun Strowman.
oh well, yeah.
You gotta get the Braun Strowman.
That's another discussion right there. What they did an outstanding job of building up Braun Strowman over the last 3.5 months.
I will give him that. Yeah.
But what did they have him do? This past week?
He ran.
He laid down. Oh well, he laid down the Roman Reigns.
For Roman, and then he ran on Monday Night Raw from the Undertaker. Backed out the ring.
Man,
I was when I said, I was like, oh, Braun and Undertaker. This is interesting. And I said, oh, wait a minute, I forgot. He called out Roman. And I said, oh, here we go. Yeah. And I'm watching, and then here comes Roman out there talking about this is my yard now. And I'm just like, and here's another.
Right. Yeah. Man, I was watching Royal Rumble, though, when Taker was in that ring, and I'm like, yes, I'm for this. This has to happen. And here's Roman. And I'm like, well, never mind.
Oh my God! So, what do they do with Braun at WrestleMania? And please do not tell me the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I feel like, you know what? Personally, I feel like big people in that match. I know it's for Andre the Giant, and I get the respect, but I feel like to put a big person in that match like Braun, who's been built this well, it's kind of a bit disrespectful to him, because it's like I can do a one-on-one match with like Undertaker. And you know what I'm saying? Like, other than just throw me in a battle royal.
Yeah.
Like that's just a throwaway match.
So speaking of talent, Apollo Crews is in that battle royal, and that's the person that's getting totally wasted.
I truly felt he was brought too early. Up to he didn't have to come up last year.
Oh yeah.
He was brought up too early. He needed a championship run in NXT. In my opinion, and that would have got him over a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's just smiling. He was happy to be here.
Exactly. Right. And now he's lost in the shuffle. He came out victorious against Dolph in the match they had, but Dolph destroyed him after the match.
Exactly.
Of course.
So it's like it's that seesaw. Like
I'm like, you had the whole build up at NXT for him to come there, and you know he debuted with Takeover Brooklyn. He debuted at that Takeover, and the next thing you know, we sneezed and closed our eyes. He was on Raw. I'm like,
right.
And
my SmackDown, and I'm like, okay.
I was happy when he got drafted to SmackDown. I was like, okay, maybe he'll get his chance to shine. He had a couple Intercontinental matches, and they wouldn't nothing.
He was too happy, and there's too many black happy folks already on the main roster.
Here we go.
I'm down.
Here we go. I mean, hey, hold on. And speaking of which, I was thinking, and as soon as they made this announcement, I'm like, what does this say for your talent pool when you have your longest reigning tag team champion in WWE history as host?
My God.
Man. Hosting WrestleMania, not wrestling in the match, but they are the host.
Hey, New Day hasn't won a match at WrestleMania. Now they hosting. They couldn't even get a match to win at WrestleMania last year.
Right. I need somebody to tell me why they lost in Dallas. I still don't understand that.
Because
Legends had to come out and squash the League of Nations.
No. It's cool to see the Legends, but the New Day loss, I could have done without.
Yeah, that's the only reason they did it. So put some on the bad guys, the heels. So when it came out,
and what the League of Nations doing now?
Wow.
Exactly.
Hey, well. Only was it? Oh, who was the leader?
Barrett, Sheamus, Rusev, and Del Rio.
Yeah, so only two of those guys are still with the company.
Right.
Yeah.
One is a champion in another organization, and the other person just said "fuck wrestling." All they got.
Right.
Side note. El Patron is the champion in Impact Wrestling.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say.
Watching.
Hold up. Can we announce that now? I mean, we don't want to put spoilers out there and everything.
That was on the last show.
Yeah,
I want to make sure because when that got brought up and then somebody's like, "It's a spoiler," and I'm like, okay, well, it was. It was the champion held the belt and it was on social media and everything. So it wasn't like I understand. I love the surprise element, but when stuff get leaks out because eventually it will come out. They can't these days you can't keep a lid on nothing.
Exactly.
You'll find out something happens that kind of like when when Edge won the title a couple years ago on SmackDown, and I was watching it and it was like they were showing and they had showed this when ECW was still on Sci-Fi and they said it came across the screen and said Edge is your new World Heavyweight Champion, whatever title was on SmackDown, and they said tune to SmackDown and see how it happened. I was like, really, y'all really spoiling your own? I was like, man. Social media.
And I think that's a good topic to have for our last segment.
With this podcast that we're gonna do now, it's a lot of things that we can talk about. It's a lot of things that we should be able to open up and discuss about in the world of professional wrestling. So that we can And for all of you out there in the THWF, in the group, this is your opportunity. Hopefully that if you want to come on and join, do so. Be active in the group. Don't just post memes and stuff. Talk about the product. Talk about the product. Talk about what you watch. I'm just saying. Terry. We probably can look at on the WWE Network and find you on like 10, 15, 20 pay-per-views or whatever. We can see you in the front row smiling and taking pictures, and everything. You bring the element to the group and everything. So it's like, hey, we have this new platform where we can talk wrestling. Let's do so. Let's bring it back. The memes, everything is funny, but I like to hear your ideas, your opinions, things like that.
And with that said, once again, this is new. This has been an awesome discussion. I'm thoroughly entertained. I want to thank you guys for coming on, Terry, Derek, and Austin. I definitely thank you guys for coming on. And for everybody out there who's listening, this is True Hardcore Wrestling Fans. You can find us on Facebook. You can click our link. You can follow us on social media, THWF_FB. So next time, this is Cedric Lynum.
That's Facebook. Hold on, that's Facebook and Twitter. Just to be on just to put it out there.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Instagram.
And we coming to Tumblr soon. We doing it all.
We doing it all. So definitely subscribe to us on SoundCloud. That is where we will be hosting, and soon to be on iTunes. We will be going on iTunes as well. So we thank everybody for listening, and we hope make sure that you tune in next time to THWF. So thank you all.
THWF.